Thank you, Kathy. Our next speaker is Eric Wasiolek. Eric is the product marketing manager for the IngressNet and IngressStar distributed database products. Before joining Ingress, Eric was the Unix product marketing manager at Exelang Corporation, which made popular the use of the TCP/IP protocol as a standard way of interconnecting heterogeneous computers. Eric also spent some time as a system engineer for Informix, and Eric has written several articles on heterogeneous distributed computing, one of which you can find in the packet of information that you have with you that appeared in Unix Review called The Big Picture. And it looks like Eric's being wired up here over on the side, Robo-Eric. You're all ready now, all wired up? Okay, please welcome Eric Wasiolek.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope that you have enjoyed the session thus far. What I'm going to talk about today is heterogeneous distributed database. And Tony Percy referred to one of the long-range goals of the computer industry over the next decade to provide access to information in various vendors' databases scattered throughout your organization. What Ingress Corporation has done is built a product which allows you to access information in various vendors' databases across the organization in the simplest possible fashion. Now, we are somewhat dependent upon the maturation of standards in some areas to offer a yet fuller implementation of heterogeneous distributed database, but the products which we offer today allow you to solve the problem of unifying information within your organization. I'm going to talk about the industry problem and the problem within most large organizations today of getting to data scattered throughout the organization. I will then talk about the Ingress solution, a product family encompassing IngressNet to provide access to remote data, Ingress Gateways to provide access to other vendors' data, and IngressStar to provide access to corporate data. And then I'll make some concluding remarks. In a nutshell, I consider this the problem in today's organization. Computing environments are extremely complex. Tony Percy referred to this as the primordial soup of today's organizations. And essentially, information is scattered across the organization in different databases, stored at different locations, provided by different vendors. This means that it's hard for users to get to and to share information. And the fact that it is hard to share information results in lost profit for organizations for the simple reason that users are unable to correlate information and correlate their task across different business units. Let me just give you some examples. It's difficult to fill orders efficiently within your organization when your manufacturing department does not know which products it should be producing because it doesn't have real-time information as to which products are being depleted from inventory. A second case, you may be experiencing poor production yields within your organization because over in the production department, as products are being produced, they're not being correlated in real time with acceptable QC information. So that results in poor product yields and represents a costly error in your organization. Also, it's difficult to collect information from various retail outlets which you may have in your organization to determine the latest customer buying trends so that you can adjust your market strategies or your advertising strategies to take opportunity of new revenue opportunities. Not being able to get to information efficiently within your organization results in a number of costly errors that affect your bottom line. Now, what we have provided with this generation of Ingress Access products are a set of products which work together and do the work for you of providing you immediate online access through standard SQL to data which is scattered throughout your organization. The benefit is that it's easy for users in different departments using different types of databases to share information. And you will see a demonstration of this capability following my talk. In contrast, there are other vendors in the market who are providing some types of heterogeneous distributed data access solutions. The bottom line is each of these vendors provide partial functionality, essentially, which require you to do a lot of work to build a system to give users access to information throughout their organization. Once again, what we're providing are full functional products you install in your environment, which give you immediate online access to corporate information. Two types of products are available on the market. First, toolkit products, which essentially require that you engineer your own server to gain access to other vendors' data. And secondly, partially functional products, which don't require you to build a server, but do require you to code quite a bit of additional application code to translate differences between different vendors' databases. All right, let me now talk about the Ingress product solution. IngressNet, as I mentioned, provides immediate online access to remote data. Ingress Gateways, immediate online access to other vendors' data. And Ingress Star works with IngressNet and Ingress Gateways to provide a heterogeneous distributed database capability to allow users to access information in multiple databases at multiple locations. First, the IngressNet solution. Plug IngressNet into two machines and run an Ingress application on one machine. You are, through that application, able to access information in remote databases without any additional work. You have immediate online access to remote data through standard SQL. And that is because IngressNet is handling all of the problems, some of which Kathy Hession talked about, of hiding the complexity of the network for you. Ingress Gateways, Kathy talked about in depth. Essentially, plug an Ingress Gateway into your environment and you have immediate online access through standard SQL to other vendors' data. Whether that data is another vendor's relational database, a non-relational database, for example, the IMS hierarchical database, or even a file system such as RMS. All access in the Ingress world is provided through standard SQL. And this is because the gateways do all the work of translating the differences between databases for you. Now let me talk about Ingress Star. You listened to Larry Rose talk about distributed databases. Now I'm going to tell you about our implementation of distributed database. This is our second generation of distributed database product. And what we are providing is functionality in three key areas. The ability to efficiently pull information together and correlate it. And this is done by virtue of a global optimizer. The ability to keep information at multiple sites consistent. And this is done by virtue of a feature called automatic two-phase commit. And the ability to simplify the administration of distributed data, which is provided by a tool we call StarView, which I'll tell you about. So Ingress Star, this generation, and you will see a demonstration of this in just a few minutes, provides both location and database transparency. In other words, because Ingress Star is doing all the work for you of locating your data and of working with gateways to resolve all differences between database types, a user is actually able to send a query to Ingress Star, should be a join query, and have the distributed database management system collect information from multiple sites, even if those sites involve different databases, and present the information to the user. Moreover, Ingress Star does such information collection and correlation in the most efficient fashion because it includes a global optimizer. As Larry Rowe explained, global optimization is critical to providing immediate online access to distributed data because somebody, either you or your distributed database management system, has to do the work of determining the best way to get to data at multiple sites. Now, in this simple example, you may have employee databases in a large organization residing at each of the business units in that organization. So you might have an employees database in Taiwan. You might have an employees database in Detroit. If you were to execute a query asking for information about all of the employees within your organization who are U.S. citizens, STAR would determine that it would return that information in the most efficient fashion because STAR maintains information, statistical information about the relative distribution of data across your network. STAR knows, for example, that there are only 10 U.S. citizen employees in that organization who reside in Taiwan. And there are, let's say this is GM, there is a huge number who reside in Detroit. Now, if this query was initiated from Taiwan, without a global optimizer, 1 million records would be moved across the ocean to the Taiwan site to be joined with the 10 records of Taiwan. STAR, because it knows the relative distribution of data, knows to move the 10 records to the site where 1 million records resides and perform the join there and return the result to the user in Taiwan. We recently announced a second major capability of Ingress Star, and if you would like to pick up some literature on this feature, we have some press clippings from our announcement of this feature on the table outside the door. What we've announced is automatic two-phase commit. Automatic two-phase commit means that you may send a transaction to your distributed database management system, and the distributed database management system does all of the work of the two-phase commit protocol to ensure that databases are in a ready state before they are updated, so that you can be assured that data is at multiple sites is updated or not updated as a logical unit of work. In contrast, other vendors require you to do the work of programming the two-phase commit protocol within your application. A simple example of why automatic two-phase commit is critical. There is an entire class of applications, which you may call all or nothing applications, where you need to update information at multiple sites as a logical unit of work, either perform updates at all sites or perform updates at no sites. And you need a distributed database management system to ensure that that happens. A simple example is a multi-branch bank transaction, where if somebody is withdrawing money from their local checking account as a part of a single transaction, that transaction must assure that the savings account is debited in the same amount that the checking account is credited. Ingress Star would ensure that that either both the debit and the credit occurred or they didn't occur. It's actually more complicated than that, as Larry Rowe was pointing out. There are all sorts of failures which can occur at any point within a distributed transaction. And Ingress Star includes a feature called automatic recovery, which ensures, regardless of the failure scenario, whether it's a computer, database, or network failure, at any time after the point that Star has decided to commit the transaction, if a failure occurs at any time after that point, automatic recovery will ensure that that transaction is completed so that data at multiple points remains consistent. Let me give an example. Let's say with this banking transaction, a user initiates a withdrawal transaction, and Ingress Star, with this automatic two-phase commit feature, sends a prepare to commit message out to each of the local databases and receives an answer that both of those local databases are ready to be updated. Star then takes the commit decision and decides to commit those two local transactions. At that point in time, the network fails. The communication link to the main branch fails. Now, Star has decided to commit. Therefore, Star commits. Star credits the checking account in the local branch, cannot debit the savings account at the main branch because the communication link is lost. And through Star's automatic recovery feature, what it will do is log the fact that it was unable to complete the transaction, and upon recovery of that communication link, it will automatically update the savings account. So STAR maintains consistency of data across sites, even in the case of computer network and database failures. And finally, STAR provides a global data dictionary, which makes it easy to manage distributed data. This is the schema location transparency problem which Dr. Rowe talked about. What we provide essentially is a dictionary of dictionaries within your organization, so that if you add a table or remove a table from your distributed database, you do so once, as opposed to having to make changes at every local database within your network. It is required to have a global data dictionary to simplify the management of distributed data and address and provide location schema transparency for distributed databases. And one other thing I would like to point out is, because STAR is implemented today as a separate process from the local Ingress database, we, and only we, are able to implement a fail-safe distributed database architecture, such that if you begin a transaction or a query against a distributed database, and the computer where the distributed database is located fails, the application may connect to another STAR server on a different computer and complete that transaction or complete that query. If, for example, you have an architecture whereby the distributed data management process is the same process as the local data management process, you are not able to do that. So Ingress STAR provides, in addition, a fail-safe implementation of distributed database. So let me review Ingress STAR. Ingress STAR is the product which works with Ingress gateways and Ingress Net to provide users immediate online access to heterogeneous data scattered across your organization. We do this by the fact that Ingress STAR determines the location of data for you, and Ingress STAR works with gateways that resolve all differences in database types for you. Hence, we make it easy to unify data within your organization. Secondly, Ingress STAR simplifies the ability to run transactions against distributed data, because Ingress STAR does the work of securing databases through the two-phase commit protocol and making sure that they're available before they're updated. In addition, Ingress STAR ensures that any transaction for which it's made the commit decision is completed properly, such that all available data remains consistent through its automatic recovery feature. And finally, Ingress STAR provides schema transparency and the ability to simplify the management of distributed databases through its global data dictionary and the fact that it provides an administrative DBA tool that works with this global data dictionary called StarView. So there you have it. We actually have a very simple philosophy at Ingress Corporation, and that is, it's not up to you, the users, to do the work of getting to data across multiple databases of different types scattered throughout your organization. The entire point of distributed databases is to make it easy for you to get to data across your organization. There are lots of vendors that are providing products which allow you to get to data within your organization. But the question you should ask yourself is, how much work is it to get to that data? Because getting to data is one thing, and how you get to data, how you get to that data is everything. Okay, thank you, and I'm going to defer now to our group who is going to conduct our distributed database and gateway demonstration.